our broadcast today. If you just tuned in, you're locked into SPRLiveFM.com, Canada's first gospel internet radio station, broadcasting to the Fun City Radio FM and Success Radio. And of course, I told you earlier, we have a guest, and our guest is going to be talking with me in a few moments. But there's a song that he has written that we want to share with you at this time. It's called The Lamb. Stick and stay with us right here in the Praise Life Morning Show.
I see the Lamb on the cross give his life for the lost. I see the Lamb take the stripes to heal my poor broken life. Sing glory to the Lamb that was slain, to him who sits on the throne and lives forever and ever. Blessing and honor, glory and power, strength and wisdom be to the Lamb. We give you glory, blessing and honor, glory and power be to the Lamb, and we'll stand in your light forever. We lift you high, we praise the Lamb. You are holy, oh so holy. Glory
that kind of involvement, and
Oh,
then
I
grew into
apologize. I
something.
apologize. I mean, somewhere along the line, folks are saying no sound, no sound. Let's start from the beginning.
Oh,
My,
oh no.
I
Okay, that's
didn't,
fine.
I didn't recognize that the sound was
That's
off. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I read all of that about Keroy and there was no sound. Oh my goodness. This is just messed up. I apologize. Now, I'm going to briefly give you a brief overhaul. He's part of the Canadian gospel industry that he says gave him the opportunity to be on the stage of notable artists such as Toronto Masquerade was a Juno Nominee award-winning artist. He performed at Scotia Arena, which is known as Air Canada, was known as Air Canada Centre, Roy Thompson Hall, Toronto Jazz Festival, CBC, 100 Huntley Street. He did a feature with award-winning artist Donald Lawrence. The Clark Sisters. He was part of the Clark Sisters movie that came to Toronto, and of course he recorded with not wrote for TMC, London Lamar, Pat Russell, Amoy Levy, Gospel Joy, Amani Meleli, Choir Uganda. Right. So this is Keroy Williams. I am so sorry. I didn't recognize the folks weren't hearing the sound. And the question that I asked him, when did he start writing music? And you said you were 12 years old.
At 12.
Right.
At 12, I wrote my first song at 12. Had a friend sing it, and I totally hated it, so I threw it away. Tried a bit, maybe a couple years later, again, same result. I just did not like it, but there was always a pull towards songwriting until eventually I came to TMC. I was 19 at the time, and we were working on the Instrument of Praise Juno Award-winning album eventually, but working on that, and I submitted a song for that. So, and that was accepted. I wrote a few, but there was one that was accepted for the project, and became the lead single that that kind of opened everything for songwriting for me.
And you said you were singing since you were 3 years old.
Yes, typical church kid, being encouraged to sing and all of that.
Right.
Grew up singing. I can't say I always loved it, but I was doing it, and then getting involved with kids choirs and youth choir, and that's kind of where the love for music and singing was developed, and we're here now.
So you said you wrote a song and you give it to your friend to sing. You didn't like it. Could it be because you didn't do it yourself?
I don't think so. I think the thing people don't know about me, I talk to people, and I'm, if I meet somebody or I sit beside somebody like you described, I'll talk to people and all of that. But naturally, if you left me to myself, I'm introverted.
You are.
So, with a song that I've written at that stage, especially of my life, I would never have gotten up to sing my own song that I wrote. And so I had a friend sing it, but it didn't work out.
Okay. So now you're writing, and how do you find writing? Is it easy?
It can be easy, but it can be difficult. I've had songs that felt like they wrote themselves, and I've had songs where I've put it down or put down a verse or chorus for like years before it became anything. So there's no rhyme or reason to how it goes or how the inspiration goes. Sometimes the thought, a melody, a few lyrics, sometimes it all comes together, and sometimes it's definitely divinely inspired. So it happens in different ways. The inspiration happens and you feel words coming together, lyrics, or melodies or things like that.
Tell me about The Lamb.
Well, my first single was The Blood, which was released a year prior to The Lamb. The Lamb was released this year.
Okay.
And so actually The Lamb was written around the same time. I had like I'd say a 6-month period where I was just writing. Like it was like a floodgate opening. And the whole theme was around the Lamb, the cross, the blood. And the Lamb came about, that scripture in Revelations 4 where we know the part where it says he came and he sat on the throne and the elders cast their crowns down, and the beasts around the throne are worshiping continuously. But then in chapter 5 it moves on to another part of the story where there's a book beside the person, one who's on the throne, and it has the seven seals, but nobody can open it. And the John begins to weep when he realizes that nobody can open that book. And so it's he has this emotional reaction to it. But then one of the elders turns to him and says, "Don't worry, there's one who can open it, the root of David, the line of Judah." But then he's presented in the next verses not as the Lion of Judah, but as the Lamb. It says that the Lamb was now took center stage, and he's in the midst of this, and they begin to sing a new song of worship to the Lamb and to God, because now there's one who's worthy to open this seal. And so that scripture kind of blew, you know, I don't know, it blew my mind. And so I connected, for me, that I always describe the song as a journey from the sacrificial lamb to the exalted lamb. And so the first part of the song talks about him on the cross, the lamb slain for us, what he does. But then towards the end of the song, we get to see the exalted lamb, the one who is worthy to receive the glory, the honor, and all of that. So, you know, connecting that cross image of the lamb to the exalted image in Revelations is what this song was about for me, and directing the glory and the honor, and, you know, moving us to give the worship that he deserves. And if I dare say, singing a new song of worship to the one who is worthy. That's what the lamb is for me.
Are you a PK?
Yes, I am.
Oh, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
Don't let my secret out here, man. You know, I'll be honest with you. I don't introduce myself to people that way, and it's not the first thing you'll ever hear from me. It's probably the last thing you'll ever know about me if you talk to me, or
it is pretty evident, my brother. It is pretty.
It?
Yes. You see, listen. Let me tell you something. I love the word. I love the word. I love hearing people talking about the word. And because the word is life, right? The Bible talks about the word is life. And so when you listen to someone explain the scriptures, either they are a Bible student who studies a lot, or they're a PK. So some things are passed down. And I'm thinking, okay, I didn't see anything about him going to Bible college or anything like that. So he has to be a PK, right? I mean, it's very evident. You can look at it, you can hear it, you can hear it's coming out. It's just, you're just saturated with my brother. So here comes the lamb. Now, this is your second single, you say, right?
Yes.
Why is it that you don't have a full album yet?
Well, I have enough music for full, like I have enough songs now. I can finally say that. I think if you spoke to me 3 years ago, I'd say, you know, I haven't written for myself yet, and I was backing off of that. But, you know, now, before fast forwarding to 2022, I can say I have enough songs to put together a project. But I think, you know, I think we're in the age where singles are the thing that you do first to kind of get people to, because yes, I've sung with Toronto Masquerade. A lot of people have heard me in that sense, but as a solo artist, people don't necessarily know me. So, you know, I almost feel like I've started again to try to put my feelers out and see how people respond to the music, how people respond to me, if people enjoy what I'm doing. And to be honest with you, to just be authentically myself, not that I've been anybody else before, but, you know, and see if people enjoy that. And I honestly believe that there's a market for everybody, and somebody will connect with what I have to say, or what God has given me to say, and the music that's there. But to answer your question, now I have the music, and I think I have a general direction of where I want to go. I'm still trying to, you know, settle on where am I at as an artist, and I think that comes over time. But a part of it, the other part of it, is also finances, and looking at ways to be able to fund doing a project.
Right.
I do have ideas, but, you know, if you're doing it yourself, it's a pretty penny. And then looking at the ways that we have to access funds can be a bit intimidating, I'll be honest with you. But I am, you know, if you're going to do it, you're going to have to kind of break down your personal barriers and just decide, this is what you're going to do, and this is what I have access to, and this is what I can accomplish. So, you know, I've got to take a step at it. So I'm working through those
I heard you.
Emotions, red tape, and all of the above.
I heard you telling someone that God had to put a pause on you for a while after writing for people so that He can bring you into this level. What was that like?
It was frustrating. It was frustrating, but
you sound like a perfect PK, my friend. I'm telling you that.
It was frustrating, but when you've known God long enough, and you are purposed to walk out your life with Him, you get to understand how He works with you. And so I knew, I kind of knew it was coming, but I was hoping it wouldn't be such a full stop, but it was like a
halt.
Okay, this is something you've got to do now.
Yeah.
And so with that halt, I would say that was at the end of 2019, fall 2019 into early 2020. That's where I felt the pause, but then I smartened up and I said yes. And that's when like January 2020 into about June is when I experienced that floodgate of opening, just because I said yes. I felt like I couldn't write prior to that, but then when I said yes and I gave over and I just said, okay, God, you do what you're doing, then that's when I felt the shift. There was definitely a shift. Amen. For me.
Now you said that in your bio it tells us that you participated in the Clark Sisters movie and you worked with Donna. What was that like? What was the experience like?
First of all, to be a part, to be asked to be a part of something like that is mind blowing. I've always wanted to do that kind of stuff, but never. In my, sometimes you have to stop telling yourself these things and praying for opportunities. But sometimes you feel like you're not at the place where you need to be able to be a part of that. But we all grow. We all experience growth in our ministry, in our life. And anyway, we get to this point where this is an opportunity that came up. I was asked to be a part of that. And it was exciting, nerve-wracking in one sense, because it's like, you're now before this world-renowned producer, singer, songwriter himself, and he comes in and you feel like, oh my goodness, he's in the room. But I'll be honest with you, he wasn't like that. I think we who were experiencing to be in the presence of Donna Lawrence at the time, I think we created that atmosphere. He was not like that at all. Down to earth, fun. He tried to make us relax and enjoy the recording process, and it was great. It was a great experience working with him, and it was good to see somebody in flesh that you've experienced through CDs or DVDs or videos before, and then have them in the room and not have them have ears or an ego. I always like that. I like when I meet people that are really on another level, and then you realize that they don't think of themselves that way. Yes,
so you know exactly how I felt when I was sitting next to you then.
Oh, stop.
Folks, you got to understand this, man. He's the most humblest person that I have met, especially within the gospel arena. For a matter of fact, everybody that night kind of like let their guards down and relaxed and, became human beings again, so to speak. Yeah. It was a great night. What was that night like for you, by the way?
It was great because I, when I get opportunities like that to sit with other artists or to be a part of things with other artists that I've watched, I've known, you see them out there, you see, I'm always grateful because I don't come from a big name church. I didn't grow up in one of the major denominations here or anything like that. And so for me, it's always a reminder of my journey, and that no matter how I feel, that if God's given you purpose and He's opening opportunities, that you just got to step through them. You never know where they lead. You never know, but you don't need to even think about that. You need to just do what He's giving you to do in this moment. And so for me, it was gratitude for being asked to be a part of something like that. And then, it was just a great experience being among other artists.
Now, if you just locked into SPRLiveFM.com, we are also on YouTube streaming Praise Radio, and we're here with the man himself, KERROY Williams. I'll go, before I end this interview with you, Tell us a little bit about where can we find the song, your platforms and so forth, where they can find you.
Sure. So please add me on Instagram. Please add me on Facebook. Please add me, especially YouTube. I need followers on YouTube to claim my channel, and then I can put more content out.
Mm.
I am in the building phase, so if you see 3 or so videos, don't mind that. More content is coming.
Right.
But you can search for my name, KERROY Williams, on YouTube. It's the same across all the different platforms, whether you're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or if you're searching on Apple Music or iTunes, or if you're looking at Spotify, it's my full name, no matter which one of those platforms. Twitter as well. You know, follow me on all of those to be able to get access to what's happening with me, and more of that content is coming, of course, and then, you know, just links to music or clips or things like that.
Well, I think I've added you on Instagram and YouTube. I have to go back and check.
Thank you, Claremont.
Because I'm a little slow in these things, I have to admit. I'm a little slow in these things. So, you know, I did that. Before we let you go as well, The Blood. You said it came out the year before. Tell me about The Blood, because I was listening to it. I'm thinking, this is deep writing. This is not wishy-washy. This is deep.
Well, I appreciate that. I try to write from a place either of my own experience, somebody else's experience. That's what inspires me. The Blood, you know, we can all find ourselves in a spot where we forget who we are. We forget who God sees us as, our identity in Christ. And that's if you're a believer, or if you just haven't made that decision to say yes to him yet. We don't realize that door is open. And so wherever we are in our journey, the price was paid for us in order to get us to that place where God ultimately sees us as redeemed, restored, healed, made whole. And we all have things that happen on the journey that shift us from those positions. But we have to remember that God is always there and wanting us to get back into the place of feeling whole and the place of being healed and being redeemed and restored. And so I had a moment of that during the time of frustration. And I'll always tell the story. I was on Instagram and I saw, you know, just had a devotion, prayed, whatever, and I try to be authentic. If I'm talking to you, Claremont, I'm going to tell you how I feel. I'm going to express it.
Yeah, you did tell me how you felt.
Right. And if I'm talking to God, it's the same.
Right.
And so I just had one of those moments, went on to Instagram after, and there was a young man who was just about to play his guitar and sing a song. And on his sweatshirt was the word forgiven. And there was something, as soon as I saw that word, immediately the words of the first verse began. And I shut the Instagram off and started to write, redeemed, restored, healed, made whole. I've been washed in the blood of the Lamb. That's what immediately came out. And then it went right into the chorus, overwhelming flood, where I free my soul. And that's what the blood is for me. It frees us, it restores us, it redeems us. And I pray that as people hear the song, they'll remember who God has called them to be, who God desires them to be, how God desires us to identify ourselves: redeemed, restored, healed, and made whole, washed in the blood of the Lamb.
I want to throw a curveball at you. Any area for pastoring later on? Why you laugh? I mean, come on. Why did you? Listen,
can I plead the fifth on that?
I am seeing someone pastoring, and you don't necessarily have to have a big church, because Jesus had his 12, and then of course the 17 and 120, but the immediate 12 was the most important thing. But I mean, I'm seeing a pastor before me.
Claremont.
Yes, sir.
I don't like this. You're exposing me today, and I don't like that. All right,
I'm seeing it. Listen, I am talking to you, and I'm seeing these things. I'm hearing them, and okay, should I ask? I'm going to ask. So, is there any possibility of that happening?
Again, what I'm gonna say is this: again, just like the PK,
Mm-hmm.
the that side of me of ministry, I don't share or expose with people.
Right.
And I know that's a word for people to hear, but I don't. My thought process is, if you accept me for me, then what comes out of me, you'll
Mm-hmm.
accept it.
Correct.
It doesn't have to be with a title. It doesn't have to be with any of those things.
I agree.
But going back to what you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
I do preach. I do teach Bible study.
Mm-hmm.
I am involved in my church, and yes, I think you could call us a 12 because we're a very small church
Mm-hmm.
that my dad pastors. I've been assisting him for a couple of years
Mm-hmm.
in pastoral ministry, and even before I was officially titled that way, I've been involved in ministry for all my life.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the answer to your question,
So I'm not going to ask any more questions. What I'm
This
seeing.
feels like an expose. I did not expect to have to answer these kind of questions this morning.
I'm not going to expose anymore. I'm going to leave this right here and let the folks know that not only is he a PK, songwriter, soloist, he writes for other people, he sings, he has a beautiful voice, as you just heard. He's now also known as Pastor KERROY Williams.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I can't believe you brought that up. You exposed me this morning.
Listen, God allowed me to see certain things certain times, and sometimes he says, just ask the question. But I appreciate the fact that that he's because you fit it. You fit it. That's all I'm going to say. You fit it.
and I have to mention, I am an ordained pastor. I've been for a few years under Go and Tell Ministries.
You see,
I can't believe you have me saying this stuff this morning. There are people who I don't know who's on, but there are people who are going to be shocked by this information. But yes, I am ordained under Go and Tell the World Ministries, Bishop Ali. But yes, and my dad is senior pastor for a church, Cecil or Clement, however you know him, Williams. Yeah. And that's House of Faith Tabernacle in Toronto.
Well, I'm glad you tell me that. And folks, if I'm going to interview you, not always the Lord allow me to bring these things out. It's just with KERROY. My brother, somebody just says you needed to be exposed. You can't hide that. Gosh. You needed to be exposed, you know. But you are a well-rounded. I mean, I sat next to you, as I said, and I spoke with you, and I'm thinking, I need to interview this guy because there's something about him that is different and is special that I see God using. And indeed, my friend, I appreciate you coming on, sharing with us today, sharing your testimony, your songs, sharing your music, sharing your writing skills, your vocal abilities as well. We're going to close this interview with the song "The Blood." I left that for the last because I think it's just so fitting. It's the blood that really saves us, and the blood that
thank you for having me this morning, and I pray that people will continue to be blessed by my ministry and what's next.
And folks, you heard it. Make sure you find him on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Are you a link into as well?
I am. You're about to expose me again. I'm on LinkedIn, but not as a singer, songwriter, musician, or any of that. That's my day job.
Oh, that's your day job.
Okay. That I'm on LinkedIn as.
Okay, yes. So find him and connect with him. Find him, connect with him, follow him, support him, and go out and get the song if you possibly can. We love to promote our local artists, and this is what we call the Canadian side of things. So we thank you so much for being with us this morning. Here's a song, "The Blood," right here on the Praise Life Morning Show, SPRLiveFM.com, Fun City Radio FM, Success Radio, and Magachu FM. "The Blood" by KERROY Williams.
Redeemed, restored, healed, made whole. I've been washed in the blood of the Lamb. sanctified, justified. I've been washed in the blood of the Lamb. Overwhelming flood where I free my soul. Overtake me now in your crimson flow. Oh, the blood of Jesus. Renewed, revived, I breathe new life. Oh, purified, realigned. Thank you for your blood. Thank you for your blood that cleanses me and saves me from my sin, that changes me, transforms me deep within. The blood that ransoms me because it works. Now I am free. The blood. Oh, the blood that cleanses me and saves me from my sin. Oh, the blood that changes me, transforms me deep within. Yes, the blood that ransoms me because it works. Now I am free. The blood of Jesus. What can wash away my sin? Nothing but the blood of Jesus. What can make me whole again? Nothing but the blood of Jesus. Precious